Good to go?
Good to go. All right, yesterday afternoon, police were advised by motorists that they had found the day before the suitcase which was directly behind me. The suitcase was about 6 feet off the road, midway between the building rubble and the start of the bushes. It was right in the open and easily able to be seen. From investigations we've made and from information received today from people who have stopped to assist, we now know that that suitcase was placed there within the last 4 to 6 weeks. That coincides with about the time the road was resurfaced and work was done about a month ago. There's varying reports as to when the suitcase was there, but we're satisfied it's within that last 4 to 6 weeks. We now know that the child is between about 2 and 7 years. It's not certain, but that's the most likely age at this stage. Unfortunately, the gender and identity of the child remains unknown, and we've got inquiries being made to try and identify who it may be. In respect to the death of the child, we can say that we believe that the child died elsewhere. We also believe that the child was placed into the suitcase and brought to this location and deposited it in the last month, but the child had been dead for some time prior to that. We can't tell you anything else about that, and I'm not prepared to speculate on theories. I can say that we've conducted inquiries, and those inquiries are ongoing with all other states throughout South Australia with various government agencies, and we're doing everything we can at the moment, both locally and back in Adelaide, where we have another investigation team progressing those inquiries. I'm happy to take your questions.
Was the child actually found in the suitcase?
The child was originally in the suitcase, and at some point somebody has, we believe, removed the child from the suitcase here.
How far away from the suitcase was the child found?
About 5 or 6 feet directly behind the bush.
So you think the bones were taken out and placed away from the suitcase here?
It's hard to say what happened and why, but we know for certain that somebody has come, found the suitcase, opened it to have a look what was in there and tipped out the contents, and at that stage became aware that it was most likely human remains.
You mentioned yesterday that the bones were concealed in bushes. Were they covered by branches or...?
They weren't deliberately covered, and there was some speculation yesterday that there may have been some twigs and branches covering them. That's not necessarily correct.
Are inquiries being made with the construction firms or the workers who built this road?
Yeah, they are. They're ongoing at the moment.
Is there any indication, you said that it looks like the suitcase was here about maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago. Do you have any idea on the timeline of the death, of whether that might be when the child died?
We believe, because of the state of decomposition and the condition of the remains, that the child died sometime prior to that, and for reasons unknown was brought to this location.
What about the contents of the suitcase? Is it children's clothes that were found on the side of the road?
There's a variety of things in the suitcase. We're not prepared at this stage to comment on the contents of the suitcase, but as soon as we can, we'll give you more information. Unfortunately, the post-mortem's been delayed until 1:30, and that involves our forensic response team, and we can't get access to the contents at this stage, but as soon as we can, we'll endeavour to get photos of what we can and what we can release.
Can you just talk us through what's actually happened here this morning with the line search and what exactly you're looking for and what area you're searching? Certainly
the area directly behind me was the subject of an intensive search by forensic people yesterday, and today we've utilised State Tactical Group, local police and SES drawn from across country areas. Some of them have travelled considerable distances to get here and help us, so we certainly appreciate that. We've done a fairly intensive search of an area about 50-metre radius of where the body was located, and now we're expanding that search out to about 1 kilometre along the road in either direction. We've also had some aerial work done to get a good perspective of the scene from the air, and there's a little bit more work to be done with that. And at the same time, we've got people conducting a door knock in Wynarka about 1.5 kilometres away, speaking to all the people there.
Have you had many members of the public getting in touch so far and bringing in information?
We've had a few Crime Stoppers last night. They haven't advanced the investigation, but nonetheless we're still grateful to those people ringing up because it could be somebody rings Crime Stoppers in 5 minutes and that's the breakthrough we want. So we encourage people to still ring up. We've been stopping a lot of vehicles travelling along this road today, and certainly we've had several people advise us of when they've seen the suitcase. And some of those sightings have been as recent as 2 weeks ago, laying in the open behind me.
I know you said you don't have the identity of the child, but do you have any clues as to who it may be, or are you in touch with any families that may have missing children or anything?
There is absolutely no idea at all about the identity of the child. We don't have any possible child. We don't know where that child's come from, whether it's from this area, from other areas, we don't know.
Are there any solid leads?
Yeah, there's some things that are progressing quite well, and I'd hope to be in a position to give you a better update later this afternoon, but as soon as we get information and as soon as we get updates from it, we'll feed to you exactly what we can.